Tech has certainly made big inroads into HR and recruitment over recent years and seems set to go even deeper. Phoenix 51 is a state-of-the-art talent assessment platform enabling organizations to make data-driven decisions along the employee journey from hiring through to benchmarking and development. That's deep. So let's meet former winner of The Apprentice and CEO of Raw Talent Academy, the mastermind behind the Phoenix 51 platform. Welcome, Lee McQueen.
Morning, Malcolm. How are you? You doing well?
Yes, excellent. Yes, yeah.
Fantastic.
It's sun shining here in Northumberland, so that's a smile on anybody's face.
I know. Same for where I am as well. The sun is shining, so it can't be a bad morning when the sun shines.
Yeah.
Sure.
Well, okay. Let's put some smile on other people's faces as well. So, Lee, tell us in layman's terms, please, what Phoenix 51 does and why it's needed.
So in layman's terms, Phoenix 51 is digitalizing the people assessment process. So whether or not that's a hiring process or benchmarking against your current employees, or whether or not you're looking to scale up your business and you want to know who should be promoted or not, as the case may be, it is a platform that digitalizes and standardizes that people assessment process, putting key structure around behaviors and competencies on your people. Now, we believe at Phoenix 51, and a little bit on my soapbox, that people are the most important part, or most important asset of any size business. So for us, it's about making sure that we can have some data-led decisions wrapped around some key competencies to not take away the human contact. I think that's really important. The human interaction is absolutely important, but actually to have some data to make better driven decisions because of that data is fundamental. And especially now, Malcolm, the world that we live in, kind of post-COVID, most things are going virtual, most things are going remote as we are today. And people are getting used to that change, but actually understanding how can we get some key data on our people before we've hired them, understand their strengths, their weaknesses, what development areas that we need for them. That's basically what Phoenix 51 is. It's a powerful employee technology that will enable organizations to have data-driven decisions at any part of that employee journey.
Yeah, excellently. And I really like the part that you're saying there, where people are important, because many of my presentations, I say people make profits, and the academics say, no, it's brands that make profits, and it's people that make them, and people can lose them, don't they? Now, let me go straight into, though, a question that may be buzzing in many minds. Are we not starting to become too reliant on automation to make decisions after what are all very human considerations?
It's a fantastic point. And again, I think a lot of people, a lot of businesses, a lot of business owners, corporate organizations across the planet will be asking the same question now, especially post-COVID, because things are changing so much. I think the key thing for us at Phoenix 51 is that we don't let the computer say yes or no. It's not the computer's decision. What we've done is we've used technology in our platform to actually aid bringing in that data, but there's still human interaction at every part. And I think that's really important. So say, for example, you're an organization and you're looking to grow your staff base or to recruit some people into your business. Instead of actually asking the computer to pre-screen them and say, Malcolm's a yes, Lee's a no, Tim's a no, Sharon's a yes. Instead of that, the human interaction is still there, but we're using our platform against key behaviors and values that your organization wants. So in other words, most organizations will have key values, Malcolm. They will have kind of 4 or 5 key values. So this is our mission, these are our values, this is what we want to achieve. And then when they go into hiring or benchmarking or promotion, then values go kind of out the window to a certain degree, and then they start to hire based on key criteria for that particular job or for that particular role. And what we've designed is digital frameworks actually assess against them key values, breaking them into competencies and behaviors. But so they're specific to your business, but there's still human interaction assessing what that looks like. And what the computer's doing on the platform is bringing all that lovely data together so that we as a human can actually make a better decision on hiring and benchmarking and promotion.
Tell us about the testing that's already been done with many organizations, including, I believe, Spurs Football Club. How did you go about doing the testing, and what were the beneficial results?
Well, this is probably where I turn a lot of the audience off, because I say the mighty Tottenham Hotspur, because ultimately I am a big fan and season ticket holder. And the deal with Tottenham came about when they were building their new stadium. It's a world-class stadium, probably one of the best in the world, very, very state-of-the-art. And what they needed to do is they needed to have 3,000 of the workers working on the stadium needed to come from a percentage of them need to come from the local area. So they used the platform to assess and make sure that people were coming in from the right areas against the key skills and competencies and behaviours that they needed within the stadium build. So that's how Tottenham Hotspur Football Club came about. We've done a lot of work with the foundation, which was brilliant. And I suppose the wider testing, if you like, is that you mentioned at the top of the show that I'm kind of the brainchild, if you like, of Phoenix 51. And the reason for that is that for the last 9.5 years, I've run a business called Raw Talent, which has been specifically recruiting based on behaviours and competencies. And about 3 years ago, Malcolm, what we decided to do is go out to market for that business and find a digital platform that would give us what we needed internally. But there wasn't one around. So I was quite picky. So brilliantly or stupidly, I suppose the viewers would have to decide. I invested £250,000 in building our own platform internally, which at the time was called SID. And it digitalized and revolutionized how we were assessing all of our candidates for our clients. So for about 18 months, we have put this platform out to all of our clients globally. So some huge financial services organizations, massive technology companies in America, in mainland Europe, in Singapore as well. So in the APAC regions as well. And we've had over 65 clients or users on the platform itself. And it was then our 51st client, actually, our 51st user, pulled me one side. They're using the platform. They loved it. And they said to me, would you sell us this separately? Would you sell us this as a standalone product? And I started thinking, maybe, yes, I will. Then I ran back to the office thinking, oh my word, how am I going to do this? And we started the process, Malcolm, of extracting the platform out of the Raw Talent business and making it a standalone SaaS business. Hence the name Phoenix 51, because it was Phoenix that rose out of Raw Talent, and it's the 51st user of the platform, hence Phoenix 51. And Phoenix 51 was born, and we launched the platform as a standalone SaaS business literally 4 weeks ago. But as you say, it's been beaten up, it's been tested, it's been used all over the world with some really, really good results. And I suppose we're quite fortunate as a startup because we've already got 10 direct clients on the platform. So we're generating annual recurring revenue already. And our phase now is about making some noise about the platform and talking about the platform and bringing on more clients. That's our growth stage now over the next kind of 6-12 months is clients onto the platform.
I'm loving everything I hear about it, especially the story behind the Spurs club testing there. We all know, though, that the pandemic has forced change in the business world. A change which may have slowly happened, but has now come at a rapid pace with hybrid working and even full working from home, the order of the day for many businesses. Explain to us how Phoenix 51 will assist such businesses manage its people processes humanely and encourage productivity.
Well, I think, again, you hit nail on the head for me in terms of it being humanely. So it's not about computer makes the decision. It's about using technology to our advantage and becoming more efficient. I think one of the key things that we did in lockdown, and in actual fact, if I can just go back one step, before lockdown, we had a plan in 2020 to launch our platform, to launch Phoenix 51. But then COVID hit, and all of a sudden our plans were thrown out of the window. It's like, oh, what we're going to do now? My business partner, Chris Wimshurst, and myself sat down. We probably were down in the dumps for about half an hour. We're very positive people, to be fair. So it was like, okay, let's get up, let's get back on the horse. What are we going to do? We looked at the market and we realized that post lockdown or post COVID, lots of businesses are still going to be wanting to scale. They're still going to be wanting to hire. They're still going to be wanting to promote. And do you know what, Malcolm? Unfortunately, some businesses around the world, because of the pandemic, will need to scale back. So how do you start making decisions on, you've got a staff base of 5,000, but you want to get it down to 4,000. Horrible situation because you want to be losing jobs. But how do you decide who's the best people to keep? Who are the best people suited to leave? And again, utilizing Phoenix 51 from an assessment perspective around people to kind of do that side of things. So we sat down and dumped for about an hour, 20 minutes an hour. And then we got back on the horse and we said, right, let's do three things. Let's turn people assessment virtually. So anybody that's watching now, any organizations that have gone through people assessment, that is, a bunch of people in a room watching, observing, assessing against their behaviors and competencies, we've now taken that virtual. So that's what Phoenix 51 does. And we did that by embedding video technology into our platform. So just as we're using Zoom or Teams, a lot of people have them two platforms in their mind. What we've got is a platform that enables organizations to do virtual assessment, enables organizations to do face-to-face two-way interviewing, and also solo interviewing as well, whereby we send out a link to a candidate pool, and they will send back in 3-4 qualifying questions on that video, and we can start now to score their answers against the key competencies and behaviors of what you're looking for in your business. So that's what we did. So we decided to go virtual, and we also decided to embed video technology and wrap our scorecard around the video. So what that essentially means is that we're taking the risk, or I say taking it out, we're mitigating the risk of making bad hires or bad decisions, because ultimately CIPD will state that an unstructured interview, you and I having a chat and looking at your CV and making some handwritten notes, probably a 50-50 chance of you being a good employee for us, Malcolm. Whereas actually a structured interview around key behaviors and key competencies and values in your business will give us probably an 85% return. And when you think about it, in the UK, it's probably, across, I use dollars because we are global. So, you're probably talking about $15,000 a year in terms of if you're making a bad hire. So why would you not really want to get the hiring process right or the promotion process right? If I promoted you because you've been in your position for 5 years, yet Kim's been in her position for 6 months, but yet she's better than you, but because I'm promoting you because you've been in for 5 years, that's the wrong decision. That is the wrong decision for our business. And ultimately, actually, Malcolm, probably for your career and also for Kim's. So we're creating problems by doing things that we've always done. And what we need to do is we need to change what we've been doing. And the pandemic is a perfect time for us to reflect, press the reset button and say, right, what do we do now? And Phoenix 51 can help in that people journey by actually wrapping data-driven decisions around your key behaviors and competencies. And I've said that loads of times, but that's what we do. It's really simple. It's not complex. You'll never get rocket science from me, unfortunately, viewers, because I'm just not that way. But ultimately, we looked at the situation and said, can we virtualize people assessment? Yes. Can we actually get a embedded video technology to allow organizations to still grow, to still scale, to still hire and promote in this new world, if I can use that term? Yes is the answer, and that's what Phoenix 51 does.
The only problem with that, Lee, is though when Kim watches this back later on, my co-director, she's going to agree with you.
Sorry about that, Malcolm, but yeah, she probably will.
I know. Listen, let me do you. I was going to ask you about the spark that created 51, but I know that now. But listen, can I just ask you then, when you were talking about people cut back, and the journey that Phoenix 51 can take. The challenge with companies is those 4,000 that are left out of the 5,000, they've got to be re-energized, haven't they? You've got to watch, otherwise they'll think 100%. I'm next for the chop.
Spot on again, Malcolm. Absolutely love it. And that's the key thing, and that's your retaining staff. People have got to understand, or businesses will be thinking at this moment, well, I've got to balance the books. Right? Let's be honest. In every boardroom since the pandemic's hit, regardless of how big your business is, these conversations are happening. Right? They're saying, "Wow, our revenue has been shrunk because our clients or customers are not buying anymore. Something's got to give, and actually we might need to make some cutbacks, and that might be staff cutbacks, or it might be other things, luxuries, whatever it is. It's again very simple for me. What you've got coming in the top and what you've got going out, it leaves you with a figure at the end of the day. And if that figure's in negative, you've got a problem. So you've got to balance them somewhere. And boardrooms all over the world will be having this conversation, probably much higher level than how I've just explained it, but nonetheless, it's still the same thing. And actually, so when we make a decision as a business to say, right, let's cut 1,000 people, yes, we've cut that out and we've got some cost back on that and whatever it might be, but we've still got a problem. And the problem you said is, well, hang on a minute, the 4,000 people need to be re-energized. They need to be remotivated. They need to realize that actually they're still within the business. So again, part of the platform is automated feedback. So to being able to give everybody, these are your strengths, these are your weaknesses, these are the areas that you need to work on. If you do these types of things, this is how you're going to progress into your career. We've got you, right? We, in our learning development teams, in our HR and our people teams, we've got you. But actually, you need to get yourself as well. And if you don't know what you need to improve on, if you don't know where your kind of weaknesses are, or indeed where your strengths lie, how can you improve on them? And again, that is part of the candidate or the employee experience as well. So realizing that actually we're not doing this just for a money cutting exercise, or we're doing this to safeguard the business for the next 5-10 years. But you are still an important part of this business, and these are the reasons why. That is fundamental to keeping them employees motivated and to retain them employees as well. I mean, it is inevitable. Every redundancy process, I've been through a few in the businesses that I've ran in the past. Every business that does the redundancy is inevitable that you get them questions. Employees are worried. Of course they are. And it's about how do we mitigate that worry? How do we reassure them to say, you are part of our plans and this is the reasons why?
Lee, I got to say to you, you're spot on there. And of the 200 plus interviews that we've done around the world, it's a bubbling question. How do I re-energize the team that may have been down? I may have had to make some redundant. How do I get them back up there again? Excellent. Lee, my viewers would shout at me if I didn't ask you an apprentice question. How did your experience on and winning the Apprentice help you in your thinking about Phoenix 51?
Yeah, brilliant stuff. I mean, thank you for asking that, because it was a long time ago, so I don't get that often a chance to talk about it. So you'll probably have to wind me on a little bit because I can talk about it. It's such a fun memory. I mean, I went into I had a very, very good job. I was earning some really good money. It wasn't about the money. In the UK, in my series, it was Series 4. So 12 years ago, I became Lord Trigger's 4th winner. It was £100,000 a year job, and I was virtually earning that already. So it wasn't about the money, but for me, it was about the challenge. I think personally that if you stay inside your comfort zone, you don't learn. So you never know how you can get better. You can never be challenged. And I was never the director at the company at the time where I was at. Fantastic company. I was a kind of mid-level manager, sales and delivery manager. I had a team of 30. My business unit was turning over £32 million. We had a really good nucleus, a good team environment, and I was pretty comfortable, Malcolm, if I'm honest. And I walked in one day and I got an application form. Somebody printed it out and left it on my desk. So a post-it note saying, fill this out. And I looked at it, it said the Apprentice. I was thinking, really? Anyway, I did. I filled it out. 7 interviews later, I got on the show. So I beat 20,000 candidates to get on the show, and then 16 candidates week by week. One dropped off, and I ended up winning. And it was a phenomenal, I suppose, confidence booster for me, knowing that I could pit my wits against people that are really, really well educated. It is a TV program. A lot of people may criticize it. You either like it or you hate it or whatever. But no one can deny that you've got some really talented business people in the show, and you're doing some really, really tough things off the bat. You're waking up in the morning at 5 a.m. and getting told you're going to have to go and sell fish down the market. You've never done that before in your life. Like, it's totally outside of your comfort zone. And then obviously as the tasks progress, they get harder and harder. Presenting in front of 150 industry experts on a new perfume that we built. I mean, when have I ever done that, or when will I ever get to do that? So it was an amazing experience and a real confidence booster. I think that I had the best of both worlds, because not only did I go and win 6-figure salary and that sort of stuff, but I actually started a business with Lord Sugar and his son Simon Sugar called Amscreen, which is still going today.
Oh yeah,
fantastic business, yeah. And we started that business from scratch. I remember my first day, Lord Sugar said to me, "Okay, meet my son Simon. You two are going to start a business called Amscreen. That's it." And then we had to go and figure out what we was going to do. And it was a brilliant experience. It gave me the confidence, the courage to go and set my own business up as well. And to work with arguably the UK's best entrepreneur over the last 50 years was amazing. But the thing is, Malcolm, and hopefully it's come across already, I'm a people person and my passion is people. And digital media was one thing, but actually I wanted to develop and work with people and develop people and work in that recruitment space. 20 years it spanned in recruitment. So I quit after 2.5 years, took the big plunge and set my own business up. And that business is still going to this day. That was 9.5 years ago.
Lee, thanks for that insight. It's brilliant. I want you to imagine, though, that there's a CEO watching this somewhere in the world, because we do go right around the world, and says, I like what Lee's saying, and Phoenix 51 could be a suitable solution for me. Lee, it's your opportunity to pitch to that CEO and his board. What are the 3 or 4 key points about Phoenix 51 that you want to keep ringing in their ears as you leave their boardroom? Virtual boardroom, by the way.
Yeah, virtual boardroom for sure. No pressure. Look, I think for me, I've probably covered some of that off. And again, thank you for giving me the opportunity, Malcolm. I really appreciate it. But if you're right now having the conversation in your boardroom around how to get a diverse working landscape, how can we retain our people? How can we make better decisions? How can we decide that when we're hiring people, we know that they're going to stick rather than twist in 12 months time? Statistically, if we don't get our onboarding programs correct, if we don't get our hiring decisions correct, statistically, more people will leave in the first 12 months than they will after that 12-month period. So it's really important to say, are you in a position, do you have values in your organization? And can you be absolutely sure that everybody in the office in the Northwest, in the office in the Southeast, in the office in America, in the office in Singapore, are your hiring managers, are your business units all hiring in the same way? Because if they're not, you're creating a problem, because you're creating a problem where Malcolm's hiring his way, Kim's hiring in her way, Lee's hiring in his way. So if you're looking for a centralized way of bringing all of that people data together, which fits specifically into your ATS, or your applicant tracking system, and feeds back into your CRM system as well, actually key data points around assessment, hiring, training and retention of your staff, creating a diverse working landscape in a structured way around specifically your business values. That's what Phoenix 51 can help you do, and I'll be delighted to give you a demo on it. You can see I'm really passionate about it, right? I'm convinced. I'm absolutely convinced, Malcolm. Over the last 10 years of working in this sector with people assessment and meeting lots of people, and walking into global boardrooms. Now, I've been into a global organisation. I won't name them, but a global organisation in New York on the 50th floor, presenting to their entire board our process, and they took it on, and they're an avid user of the platform and a user of the service. So now I know that our platform works, and I know that it will really help organizations. And the great thing about it, and the biggest probably objection that we get is, yeah, but our hiring community, Malcolm over in Singapore, he'll never do this, he'll never take this on, it's too much work. No, it's really intuitive, really, really easy. It is a pick-up bit of technology where it's standardized, centralized, and make your recruiting process and your people process brilliant. And that, I can guarantee Malcolm will say, wow, I love this stuff, I'm never going back. And that's the point.
Yeah, I'm sold, Lee.
Good stuff. You can sign up after.
Yeah, I particularly like the balance bit, because to me that means that wherever I'm dealing, whichever department or office in the world, I'm going to get consistency. And I think that's important. Yeah. So to that CEO that I was mentioning beforehand, I hope you've taken down Lee's URL that's on the screen behind me. Lee, I like to give all my guests 3 wishes. If I were to give you 3 wishes for companies to think about their talent acquisition and management in this new era of working, what would those 3 wishes be?
Well, I think you hit it now there in the new era of working. I think that we've launched Phoenix 51 in a time where we hit the bullseye. So ultimately, in a sense of people are going through a transformation or a change process within their business and within themselves of adapting to the new way of life. 40%. A study shows, actually, it's come out last week, 40% of office workers won't be going back into the office. So we have had a massive step change in how we're going to be scaling and how we're going to be hiring and how we're going to be assessing our people within our business. It's going to be majority of the time now remotely. Now, one of my wishes would be that we get back to kind of post pre-COVID. I'm not sure, like I've just said, Malcolm, that's ever going to happen. So we need to make sure that we're changing. We need to make sure that we embrace that change. And the longer we don't embrace, the further away that we're going to be from everybody else. I know it's scary. I know as a business owner and organizations, making these decisions is scary. You don't almost want to be an early adopter. But the reality is, I think the virtual hiring, the virtual assessment, the virtual way of life is here to stay. And when you look in the future, if we can get a little crystal ball out and you look in the future, you can only see it getting even stronger with the things like virtual reality, not actually them sorts of things and holograms and all this amazing stuff. I mean, we made a breakthrough this week in the States, I think, with driverless cars, and the technology that we've got available to us around there is just mind-blowing. So I think the technology is definitely here to stay. So we need to embrace some of that and actually start using it in our people assessment process.
Brilliant. Lee McQueen, mastermind behind Phoenix 51. You give me lots to think about there. Thanks for a brilliant interview.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it, Malcolm.